Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Origins Fisto Heroic Hand-to-Hand Fighter. Another classic figure coming into the Origins lineup. I'm really excited about this guy, so let's dive right in and get a closer look. As you can see, he does come on that same style retro-inspired blister card. I just love this look. I'm so happy to see it with this line. We got a brand new mini comic behind the figure there. And as we rotate this around to the backside, we get the best part of the packaging, which is this absolutely gorgeous artwork featuring Fisto doing battle with Jitsu. You can see Stridor, and for eagle-eyed fans that really know their stuff, you can see the unproduced wall-hanging playset back here. That was something that was gonna come out in the vintage toy line. I remember seeing prototype pictures in the Power and Honor Foundation catalog way back when. It's amazing seeing the things that get hidden in this artwork. I absolutely love it. Down below the beautiful artwork there, we've also got our cross-sell, as well as our action feature callouts showing the articulation. Doesn't look like he's got the spring-loaded power punch, but that would make sense. We don't really have spring-loaded action features with these particular figures. So, let's go ahead and get Fisto pulled out of this gorgeous packaging so we can get a closer look at the figure within. Alright, so here's Fisto outside of the packaging. As always, I like to bring in the tape measure to show you guys exactly where these figures stand. They're right at the 5.5-inch scale, a little bit taller than that since you can straighten out the legs, but essentially, of course, everything in Origins will fit right in with your vintage action figures. And Fisto here is really a great update. I mean, he does a fantastic job of taking that original vintage Fisto action figure and updating it here for Origins, which is essentially what we've seen for all of the figures in this line so far. I think the colors on this guy look really, really good. I would say that the only places where maybe it's not so good is in the silver paint here on his armor. I don't know if that's coming across on video. I can kind of see it there. In person, it's really obvious. Like, you can see the brush strokes on the silver, and there are some spots that just aren't coated in the silver paint as much as they probably should be. So it's a bit sloppy on the silver portions. I do like how shiny that silver is. It's a nice metallic look. It's just not as clean as I would like it to be. A little sloppy on the silver paint. It looks like the armor itself is molded in that dark purple plastic, and they put the silver over it there. And since it's made of a softer, more pliable plastic, that's likely why the paint maybe isn't brushing on as strong as you would expect it to. The vintage Fisto action figure had that hard, kind of shell-like armor, and all of the figures so far in Origins that are wearing armor are wearing this softer, more flexible piece. Obviously, we saw this with Clamp Champ already, so same design, just in different colors there. And basically everything else about Fisto is something that we've pretty much seen before, with the same style He-Man legs and arm over here, but he does include the large oversized fist, which is also done in that same kind of metallic silver. It looks really nice, and of course that metallic silver does fit in with the way the vintage figure was, where it was also just a silver in color. However, I do feel like this is a missed opportunity not to finally give us one that's vac metalized. It always bothered me that Jitsu had that very shiny vac metalized gold chopping hand, and Fisto didn't get the same treatment for his silver hand. And since we know now that the Origins Jitsu is going to have the vac metal like the vintage figure, I would have loved to see Mattel do vac metal on this particular Fisto. I would say that might be one of those things I could totally see them doing as an exclusive somewhere, right? Totally seems like something Mattel would do. And this is fine as is. I'm sure there's plenty of people who prefer it to look just like the vintage figure. I just think it would have been cool to finally get a vac metalized Fisto fist. I do really like the head sculpt there as well. Again, it really harkens back to that vintage action figure, but it's actually painted a little cleaner than that of the vintage, so I think it looks really nice overall. And of course, the articulation is exactly what you would expect from an Origins figure. That head is on a ball joint, and of course, it's interchangeable, so you can pop it right off the joint there. The arms have those nice joints at the shoulders that allow the arms to go outwards, forwards, and backwards. Swivels at the elbow, a single joint at the elbow, swivels at the wrist, hinge at the wrist, swivel at the waist. You got those ball joints there, the socket joints at the thighs, so legs can go outwards, forwards, backwards, swivel at the knee, single bend at the knee, swivel at the boot cut, and then the ankles can move forwards and backwards and rock side to side. And all the articulation feels real good on this particular figure. Now, since he's got the oversized fist, of course, you only have the swivel. There's no hinge joint there. And it is worth noting, he does still feature all of those interchangeable parts, so you can pop him off at the waist there, you can pop the arms out of the shoulders. On his left hand, you can still remove the hand from the socket, but I was a bit bummed out to find that the fist, the giant oversized metal fist, it's non-removable. I would have loved if the joint was kind of deeper in there so that it was still like the same kind of a peg. I don't know how that would have worked, but it'd have been really cool if that was how it was done, so you could pop this giant fist off and put it on any of the other figures. But unfortunately, it does look like that is non-removable. Now, you can still just remove the whole arm, so if you still want to do mixing and matching, you've always got that as an option. But the fist itself does not appear meant to be removed from this particular figure. Now, as far as accessories go, Fisto only comes with one, just like the vintage toy, which is his sword there. Looks very much like that of the vintage. It's actually made of a good plastic. It's not too gummy or anything like that. And it's molded in a nice purple. Pretty much matches the armor there. And of course, since he's only got one gripping hand, he holds onto a sword just fine in the left hand, which is very nice. Nowhere to store it on his back, but that fits right in with the vintage action figure as well. All right, guys, it's comparison time. So I've talked about the vintage action figure multiple times. Let's go ahead and show him standing alongside that so you can see the similarities between the two, but you can also see the updates with the sculpt and everything as well. And we're going to go ahead and show him alongside the 2000X Fisto action figure, which had a bit of a more stylized look to it. And some of the things from that look carried over into the Masters of the Universe Classics version, which we've got that standing alongside this Fisto here. The one from Classics, honestly, one of the best figures from that line. I absolutely love it. So this is where you could really see the difference between the styling of Classics versus the more vintage styling of Origins. So there you go, my friends. That is a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Fisto action figure. All in all, really solid. I like this guy quite a bit. Sloppy paint on the silver on the torso. It really stands out the most to me under my studio lights. Outside of that, it's not that noticeable. So I don't know if there's like a widespread issue with that either. I haven't seen a lot of reports of super sloppy paint, so hopefully that's not the case, because otherwise, he's a pretty good one. I like this guy quite a bit. So I ordered mine online from Big Bad Toy Store, so I'll definitely link to them in the description below if you want to see what Origins figures they currently have in stock and up for pre-order. Otherwise, the best place it seems to be to find these guys at retail is Target, whenever they stock them. Not the easiest thing to find in stores right now, so online seems to be the key. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and until next time.